everyone, Chef Kirk Lyons with NoTimeToCookDinner.com here. One of the questions I get asked the most is how I like to cook my vegetables. Well, there's a lot of ways to cook vegetables, but one of my favorites is to roast them. And I like roasting vegetables for two reasons. One is it brings out the sort of natural nuttiness or earthiness to a vegetable, as opposed to, steaming it, which is kind of more playing on some of its more delicate flavors. The other thing is, and more importantly in terms of your weeknight dinners, you're roasting in the oven. So when your vegetables are in the oven for however long they're there, that oven is acting like your sous chef. It's cooking your vegetables and giving you the time to do other things. So today, I wanted to show you how to roast asparagus. Okay, so as you can see, we're starting off with some beautiful fresh asparagus here. And I know it's fresh because, as you can see, the tops here are nice and tight. Nothing is opened up, beautiful, nothing looks dried. And I always like to use what is considered medium-sized asparagus. And medium size is usually about a ½ inch in diameter across the bottom there. Any wider would be large, and any thinner would be very thin. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take off these woody ends because they're a little much. They're kind of tough to eat. And you can usually take off about the bottom 2 inches. The easiest way to do it. And I'll just put them into my garbage bowl. Now at this point, I'm going to transfer my spears to a baking sheet that I've lined with a little bit of aluminum foil. What we want to do is we want to lightly coat these with olive oil. And the reason why we want to do it lightly is if you douse it too much in olive oil, you end up steaming the asparagus. So a really good tip here is if you have one of those olive oil misters, this is a perfect use for it. However, we can make do by just keeping our thumb on top of the olive oil bottle and just a real light drizzling. I'm serious, that's about all it's going to take right there. Good. All right, we will hit that with some freshly ground pepper, nice generous amount of kosher salt, and believe me, it takes salt because there's a water content to these, and then my secret ingredient, citrus zest. And for me, there's no better combination than orange with asparagus. And this serves so many purposes. I mean, anybody can find an orange anywhere. Half of you probably have them growing on trees in your backyard. They add really no calories. I mean, it's a very healthful way to spruce up the flavor of a fresh vegetable, and it plays so nicely off the nuttiness that is created by roasting. I really like to use a microplane. And that's what this is. And you can pick it up at any cookie store for just a couple of bucks. But if you don't have one, you know what? Use a vegetable peeler and take off some big peels and just throw it on top of your asparagus. It's not going to be as delicate as this here, but it will, once it gets in the oven, the orange peel will release some oils and it will flavor your asparagus. It does a really, really nice job. So here we go. You don't need a ton. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't take any of the white pith off of the orange because that's what's bitter. You just want this beautiful orange skin. And, once again, amounts just aren't important here. More is perfectly welcome, but as you can see, there's some trapped in my microplane that I'm just going to take out. And then what I can do, just using my hands, I'm just going to toss this around a little bit, just to make sure that everything is incorporated. Great. Perfect. And one nice even layer is really good. That way you kind of promote even cooking. So off these go into a 400-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. And look at that. Really nice. Perfect. And as you can see, they still have a nice firmness to them. Oh, that's great. These aren't overcooked. You can see they're just slightly charred at the ends. This is going to be really, really good. One thing I do want to do is I want to get them off this hot plate because they will continue to cook. One of the neat things about roasting vegetables is they don't have to be served hot. They can be served warm, even at room temperature. The key is just getting them off that hot plate so they don't cook anymore. And there we go. Our side dish of asparagus is done.